Well, it's John Black, Super Chemist. I think this is part 2 about if borders are racist or not, open or closed. So we got into all the negatives of how you're screwing black people over. And what's funny is, if you go onto the UN website or the EU website, the European Union or the United Nations, or the WEF, the World Economic Forum, has an annual televised globally for everyone to see where they talk about what they want to do for the world, right? And all 3 of them sources that I just named, the 2 websites and the annual televised, conferences that the WEF does, all 3 of them say, I don't know if the websites still say that. This was like 3 years ago. They might have changed it because people are starting to wake up that, hey, people are starting to look into things, you know what I mean? I forget what I was talking about. I totally lost my train of thought. Anyways, if there's a part 3, I'll look at this and see what it was and continue. But anyways, so that all they want is cheap labor, man. The elites want cheap labor, okay? Because what happens if you have that many people and you don't, they just want cheap labor, all right? And they don't care if they're unvetted. I mean, just think about it. You have mayors and politicians or whatever. All Trump wants to do right now is round up everyone who's a rapist, a known rapist, a known murderer, and who has a mile-long record of being violent or whatever. And also there's people that have already been told by the government, you can't be, you're not an asylum seeker. You need to go. You've been denied. We want you deported. That's all he wants to do right now is get those people, because that's going to take a while just to do that. Okay, right? There's a lot of them. They already admitted that they let in like 500,000 people that are murderers and rapists and pedophiles that were like known in the gangs and that. I mean, come on, man. So anyways, why are they doing that? Obviously because they want, it's not just about having the workers. And I want you to keep this in mind. Even if 100% of these people, illegal aliens, were great, they were actually better. They were better than the citizens that they were coming into the city with, right? Even if they were better and they were contributing better, it doesn't matter. They're still going to raise the rent triple. They're going to ruin the schools. They're going, it doesn't. It's not intentionally. It's just if you have 50 different languages and you have all these kids, you're going to ruin the schools. You know what I mean? And they don't even sprinkle. They don't even put them in. Like you think the non-speaking ones, they would put in their own classes. No, they sprinkle them around so that each class is evenly screwed. You know what I mean? Like let's say, you're making up numbers, you got 5 classes and you have 10 kids. Instead of making another class that has 10 kids and they're all the illegal aliens, no. They they put 2 in every class so that they make sure that every class is screwed. That they have to have multiple teachers in there all the time putting towards telling, they don't even, first of all, they shouldn't even be in any classes except for an English class if you're going to teach them at all. They shouldn't be taught anything until they learn English. Okay? Nothing should be English first. If you can't learn English, then that should be a reason to deport you right there. Yeah, they want to get these people in here no matter what. I mean, they're rapists and whatever. They admitted that they left in these. That's all he wants to get rid of, and they're saying no. We're going to fight tooth and nail. That's the deep state. That's how you can tell who's the deep state and who isn't. Who wants open borders is deep state, okay? Or they're controlled by the deep state. That's how you know. That's who the elites are, or who are controlled by the elites. Okay? Open borders. The green thing. Anyone who says that we need to do this, it's a climate crisis. Yeah, that means that they are part of the deep state, or they're part of the group that got brainwashed by the deep state. You know what I mean? Or they're part of the propaganda machine. You know? So why else are they? Why are they doing this? I mean, obviously they want cheap labor, right? You know, like how does that? They say that they contribute. They don't contribute. Like our society will die without illegal aliens. Who will pick? This is the most racist thing I've ever heard, too, man. They're literally saying on national TV, who will pick our fruit? Who will pick our cotton, basically? Who will pick our cotton for such cheap rates for slave labor rates? If we don't have these slaves come in to pick our cotton, you know, our fruit and our farm products, you know, we gotta have them come in, man. You know, who's gonna pick our cotton? And they're saying I'm racist. You're literally saying that you want them to come in because we need slave labor, and they need to pick our crops. And you're not racist, but because that sounds like the most racist thing I've ever heard in my entire life. We want open borders because who's going to pick our cotton? Who's going to pick our crops? We need to have cheap labor that is basically slave labor to pick our cotton. And I'm not racist. You're racist for what? You know, it's like, what? Are you freaking serious with me right now? Are you kidding with me? I don't get it, man. You're telling me that we need people to pick our crops, our cotton, for cheap slave wages, because Americans won't do it for slave wages. And you're not racist. Really? You're not racist? Really? Because it really sounds like picking cotton for slave wages. It sounds like you're racist. You know what I mean? I'm against that. I want the borders closed. You know, you open the border only for people that are vetted, that come in a legal way in the process, and that they can contribute. Don't just let anyone in. You just don't let a whole bunch of laborers in to screw over all the poor people. No, you let in, if you're low on teachers, you let teachers in. If you're low on doctors, you let some doctors in. But only people that can contribute, not just some schlub. And not at this rate where you're... Do people understand that 1/10 of our population is now illegal aliens? And everything that happens over, you know, in Germany and around there, you know, starts going more east and more west and more west. Hits the, you know, to France, UK, Australia, and then it comes to here, right? Mexico and Canada, US. They're already at 20%, and they're having riots. They're going to have a civil war if they don't shut you. Right now, that's what's funny. Everyone thinks this is just happening in the United States. This is a global thing. Don't you get it? It's a global thing. It's happening everywhere. Don't you? Just watch the news for the UK or Australia. Just watch the news from those countries. The same exact things. It's just happening earlier there. That's how I already know what's going to happen here, because all I have to do is say, well, what's going to happen right now? Well, let's look 2 years in the past over in Germany. You know, what's going to happen in a year? Well, let's look back in the past a year from now, and we'll know. You just have, you know, it's going to be a year or 2 years later, so you're just looking at a year or two in their past, and you'll know exactly what's going to happen. Okay? They all have open borders. They all have. This is all happening. The gender crap, the hating Jew thing. It's not Nazism though, but the whole world all of a sudden hates Jews. I hate to break it to everyone, but there's like 3 Jews on the entire planet. Okay, there's like 16 million Jews out of 8 billion people. 16 million. There's 2.3 Muslims. 2.3 billion. There's 2.1 billion Christians. There's only 16 million Jews. Like, how can we have this much? That's still, when you're talking about 8 billion people and you have more than 2 billion Christians, more than 2 billion Muslims, there's only 16 million Jews. That's like saying there's 2 Jews. You might as well say there's 2 Jews on the planet. How can we have this much hate globally over 2 people, basically? 2 Jews. Hey, there's 2 Jews. They're responsible for everything. Like, not the 8 billion people that are on the planet, not the 2 billion Muslims, not the 2 billion Christians. No, it's those 2 guys over there. They're Jewish. Like, what? There's 16 million Jews. There's literally 0 Jews on the planet. How are you blaming the Jews for anything? Like, what the? Are you insane? Are you insane? How many Jews can you? This is like goes back like to the ice caps. You know, how much of it can melt before they can say, you know, if 90% of it melts and there's only 10% left, can they still say that 10% is going to flood the world? You know, like 1/3 of the planet is covered in ice. Is 50% enough though? But that ain't enough. 1/3 ain't enough. Is 50? Is 75%? No, I lost my train of thought when I was. But anyways, before I run out of time, let me say these last whatevers. The reason why they want the illegals to come in is because of voting. Okay, let's all face the facts. They've admitted it many times. They've admitted that they want electoral votes. See, they changed the census. Census used to ask, are you a citizen? Now it doesn't ask if you're a citizen. So now, and that's how the census is how we figure out how many electoral people, you know, we use electoral votes for electoral college, right? To elect the president, right? Each state gets so many electoral votes based on their population. The bigger the population, the more the electoral votes. And that goes with the congressmen too, right? Not the Senate, but the representative side of the Congress, right? The more population you have, the more congressmen you have in Congress, right? In the House of Representatives. So when they count these censuses, they want to count all the illegal aliens, get more, like California. They could get 2, 3, you know, all these blue states might end up getting 2 or 3 more congressmen in Congress because their population grows with the illegals, you know what I mean? So they want votes they want the actual votes, they want to give them vote. They want electoral votes, you know, in the electoral college, you know, because that's based on population. And congressmen, you know, it's based on population. And the other thing is it causes division. This is just dividing us. You can't have 50 languages. I don't care if everyone's perfect. They're the most people. We're all just all citizens and all illegal aliens are just the cream of the crop. No one's ever been better than these people. Okay, if you speak 50 different languages, you're going to have division. You're going to have hate. It's going to sell itself because you're going to get tired of always having to never being able to talk to anybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like someone drops something on the ground, you're like, hey, you dropped that back there, and they're like, blah, 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 and you don't know what the hell they're saying. You know, that's going to get on your nerves so many times, you know. Like, hey, buddy, you know what time it is? Oh, blah, 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 blah. You know, they don't know what you're saying. You don't know what they're saying. You know, hey, do you know where blah, blah, blah store is? And then they don't speak English. That's going to get on your nerves after so long. You're going to start hating those people because you spent your whole life just being able to talk, just to walk up to someone that was in your country and just start talking to them and they can understand you. And now, no one can understand you. Not one person can understand you. And like I said, the cheap labor. And I think that what they want is a civil war, man. You know, I'm not sure if they want a civil war per se as much as a bunch of riots so that they can bring in the National Guard and try to take over the country and say it's an emergency, you know. But thank God Trump got in there, so at least when he brings out the National Guard, it'll be to get the illegal aliens out. Thank God. Several times I went on a rant and then I lost my train of thought, so maybe I'll go back over this video, see what rants I didn't go back over and, you know, talk about. And but this is, man, you're a racist and you're a traitor if you want open borders, man. Because these people aren't vetted. I mean, why would anyone why wouldn't you? I mean, Venezuela and all third world countries, their crime rate is going down like 70, 80%, 90%. Well, our crime rates are going skyrocketing. That doesn't tell you something? There's literally psychologists and psychiatrists leaving Venezuela because they don't have any, there's no more crazy people. Their prisons are shutting down. They don't even have any prisons anymore.